how's it going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the CFCTALK podcast. Great to be back on again. As usual, actually not as usual, we're not joined by both the usual hosts, I should say. Alex is here with us, but Amart sadly couldn't make tonight's recording as he had some work due. And that's what he's saying. We don't know if that's the truth or not. But that's actually the first episode he's ever been out of. This will be the first episode that he's. Wow, my English is terrible today. No, Chelsea, another win for them, and now we go 1 point behind top four after Liverpool getting thrashed by Man City and Jurgen Klopp coming out with some excuses which were debatable. Alex, welcome to the podcast. How are you doing?
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I like it. It's the idea of the viewers having to stare at this Amart picture with him not speaking isn't. I feel for you. We miss him a lot as well, and I'm sure he'll be back soon. But he's been incredibly consistent. Literally not missing a single of our 46 episodes, other than the one where Mohammed didn't invite either of us. But no, that is true. That was very true. And speaking of which, I mean, I think we've put out a little bit on Paul Cannavale, but speaking of it, wish all the best of health for him.
100%.
We really all really. But yeah, getting back. Yeah, it's a shame we're gonna not have Amart on, but he'll be back. I'm sure he wanted to be on, but couldn't. But yeah, he just wanted people to stare at his face and not listen to him speak for an hour. So let's get into it. I'm looking for let's try and turn this game, which wasn't the most entertaining. Wasn't the most easy or fun to watch game for sure, but had some funny talking points, so let's try and liven it up a bit, as well as looking towards the mighty Barnsley.
I'm just hoping for another Havertz hat trick.
Pretty much. I mean, that's all I can ask. Speaking of which, like the line, I mean, he didn't even feature in the lineup or in the bench. We were talking about before the pod that Pulisic didn't either, but the reason's been given about having some family reasons, but we haven't heard anything about Havertz and why he's not. I don't think he played I don't think he was on the bench, or was he on the bench against Tottenham?
I think he was.
I think he was, but didn't come on, and today didn't even feature. So maybe he's just saving him for Barnsley. He knows that he's got some juju on.
The only surprising thing is the one thing that I find surprising is none of the journalists have actually asked Thomas Tuchel why he's not being featured. And I've just kind of checked through the Tottenham game, and he wasn't even in the squad list. So that's 2 games. Yeah. So and no one's even asked about it. Pulisic, we know why he wasn't on there, and he was on the squad list for the Tottenham game as well.
As he came on as well.
Yeah,
he came on.
So the last game. Sorry, go ahead.
I would have said same for Ziyech. Wait, was Ziyech on the bench against Sheffield?
I think Ziyech.
Yeah, he was.
Ziyech was.
Yeah, it's weird. Ziyech twice now hasn't played. It's very weird. He's playing Matt instead of him, I guess. But I think one of the reasons probably is that other than external issues, is that Mount. I think we have to. I think he at least considers Mount as one of the competitors for the 2 kind of inside forwards, and he's just been playing really well. So he's just going to keep them out, and he's extremely durable. So he can play 90 minutes and consecutive 90 minutes, even when the game's 3 days apart.
Has he only missed 1 game? I think that was under Lampard. Can't exactly remember which one.
I can't either.
He's only missed 1 game this whole season.
Yeah, that's right. I think he got minutes against Wolves, so I might just get. I was looking at this, I think yesterday, And just before, he missed the Palace game where we won 4-0. And other than that, no, he's always played at least a part. But I wasn't surprised to see. Sorry, surprised that Ziyech hasn't really featured in the past 2 games. But it's probably just because Mason Mount has been just he's competing with them. He's competing with Ziyech and Havertz for that position essentially. Because Timo is going to start, and then there's probably going to be another striker or Cho starting with them. And Mount's just playing better than them, so it's understandable.
Yeah, I think Mount deserves a start, and
Absolutely.
he wasn't he the man of the match for the Burnley game, if I'm not wrong.
I'm not sure. I think so. Yeah. It
Yeah,
would
so I
make
think
sense.
I think you can't drop someone who's just
No.
played a man of the match performance. So
Yeah.
it was right for him to start. But yeah, let's track back to Sheffield United and Chelsea first half. Not much happening in there, but except the penalty
Yeah.
shout for Sheffield, and then the Mount goal. So was it Ben Chilwell caught slacking? You could say, but it was called. It was given offside by VAR. Would that have changed the game? Do you think Chelsea might have lost if we conceded early on?
Absolutely. Yeah. They. In fact, it was even aside from the offside. Literally, in the first 10, 15 seconds of the game, I think, or maybe it was the first minute,
Oh yeah,
Sheffield were in behind, and the dude did made a mess of it and put it into the side netting. But they could have, if that was June last year, like when they beat us 3-0 at Bramwell Lane. I do think they could have easily been 2-0 up in the first half through missing chances and if they got more lucky with the offside. But if they had scored one, then I'd be very worried because they would just park the bus and not leave any space for Timo. But thankfully they didn't, and Timo managed to get into the game really well and put in a man of the match performance. So it was it was a really bad challenge from Chilwell. To be fair, it was a clear penalty. He just kind of puts his leg where he shouldn't and misses the ball. Really clumsy of him, but he'll say that he knew it was offside and it's all good. But that wasn't the worst mistake in the game from a Chelsea player, though. So, but we'll get into that in a little bit.
Yeah. I think everyone when the other mistake happened, everyone was like, "Oh, is this one of those days?"
Yeah,
And I think it hurt more because Mendy's been on a 3 clean sheet run. Um, but we can still brag about it. We can say no opposition scored against Chelsea. I think Rudiger was just testing out Mendy.
of course, the
Um,
first goal conceded in the Tuchel era has to be from the man who's kind of who's one of Tuchel's favorite players in Rudiger. Of course, it had to happen like that. But yeah, it was bad. But yeah, just before we get in that, at least good goal from Mount, good assist from Werner, and good ball from I think Chilwell put Werner in behind, and then really good ball from Werner and really great finish from Mount. So love to see it, and yeah, it's we need
there was a
absolutely need the
comment.
goal. Sorry.
There was a comment. Sorry, there was a comment that we read. I mean, I found it an incredible goal, and um, probably like it was a bit like he seemed confident when he hit that strike, and you can't really just hit it and by luck go in. You really have to have the skill to score a goal like that, especially with a pass that's moving backwards
Yeah.
away from the player. Um, and it's not very easy to hit that. But there's a comment that was made on Sky Sports. Um, I want to name the person, but there's no point. Everyone's gonna know it anyways. They said that Timo Werner basically didn't mean to assist Mount. He just got lucky.
Uh,
Um, Alex, is this propaganda against Chelsea? Is this just
yeah, it is. We all know the club of that person, of that commentator, and how
yeah?
their player won a questionable penalty just before. Yeah, man. So It absolutely was intentional. He put a ball in. You know, always you're going to put balls into dangerous areas on purpose, and it's either the edge of the box or across goal. And it was a fantastic ball from Werner. And if that's
Yeah,
not meant, then nothing is in football. So he doesn't. That's just he's just salty that Werner didn't sign for his team, or that Chelsea won. It was probably just salty because of the game. I know a lot of Liverpool fans were. I mean, most Liverpool fans, all of them really, were unhappy with the game. So just kind of taking it out with this frustration.
yeah. Honestly, I think if if Mane or Salah did made a pass like this, he would have put a crown on their head and would have said, "Oh, these are the best players in the Premier League. That's such a great passer." It would have been an assist of the season, in his opinion.
Yeah.
And I genuinely don't understand what the point is in bringing down a player. Yes, Werner has been struggling this season, but I think, including yesterday, that's the fifth penalty he's won for Chelsea. He scored 9 goals. He's got, I think, 8 assists this whole season, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it now, and I think he's scored. Apparently, it might be five in the league, but he's won 7 penalties overall for Chelsea this
Oh,
season,
okay.
and he's got 8 assists, not including that. So technically, he has 9 goals and 15 assists this season in all competitions,
Yeah,
which is pretty good for 31 games. So considering that people are like comparing him to Morata and Torres and things. It's just not. It's just it's as far away as possible from the truth because you can see the like even though he's not scoring, he's helping the team so much with his pace, his speed. Yes, there he's not the most on the ball. He's a finisher and he's like a pacey player. He's not very good creatively or I mean, you were starting to. I mean, I was about to say and dribbling as well, but we're starting to see in the past 2 3 games that he's really been starting to take on players more and dribble better. But so yeah, he's definitely not having a nightmare season. His season could be better. He really should be on way more Premier League goals. He really should be on. He should have 5 6 more, considering how many times he's hit the post and one on ones that just haven't gone his way. So yeah, but he's doing so many other things right that he's an absolute asset to the team and does not warrant. He doesn't deserve to be dropped or anything for not getting enough goals. He definitely deserves to be in the team. And the goals will come. Everyone has said it. Tuchel has said it. Everyone knows it. That the goals will come. He's doing all the right things.
yeah, and I think honestly with Werner, and I'm not going to try and dig at Lampard here and say something, but he originally plays as a striker role, and much of his role under Lampard was playing at the left wing, playing in a 4-3-3 formation. So under Tuchel, he's kind of gone through a transition where he's playing in a different position. He's playing in different tactics, and I think Werner will catch on, and he does seem to be catching on. I mean, yes, there was a debate last night where people started saying, "Oh, he should have gone the other way, and he should have maybe like tried scoring that rather than just going for a penalty." But as a football, you just got to take the chances you've got. What if you missed that opportunity? What if the goalkeeper saved it? So the goalkeeper took it out of his feet before he could have gone past the goalkeeper. So with Werner, there's going to always be critics because of the price tag that comes with him, and with Chelsea, you've always got in the back of your mind, you've always got the strikers not being able to perform at Chelsea with Morata. There's a few who think Torres was also part of that list. Um, so I think first season, if you've got, was it 24 contributions in 31 games, it's pretty good. I mean, yes, it's not Werner style, it's not what he used to do at Leipzig, but give him some time and he'll be probably one of the best strikers at Chelsea. Um, and he won't have to fight against Tammy or Giroud. He'll get the spot automatically. And at the moment, he's just fighting through it. And his post match comments, that's the best thing that I think he's ever said. He went on to praise the team, and he went on to say, "I'm not scoring goals, and I understand that, but um, he just kept mentioning how he's trying to help the team and whatever he can do. I mean, yes, on some days it might be by scoring hat tricks or scoring goals, and on other days it might just be because he helped out with an important challenge or he made an important pass. So honestly, I'm very happy with how Werner played, and I think he was the man of the match, if I'm not
He
wrong,
was.
last night.
He was.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah. So he deserves it, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. Got 2 assists,
Yeah,
and yeah,
yeah.
really.
And the penalty, Jorginho's hop, skip, and jump. This time I've said it correctly.
No, pop, skip, and hoop. No, but sorry, but yeah, it's back. Yeah, I mean, I don't. People are like, oh, he's moved on from it. Like, nope, it's just a tactic to throw off the keeper. So it's good that he changes it up a bit, and I think we definitely the pressure was on. Even in today, sorry, yesterday, the pressure was on. But yeah, really glad he scored it. But I still don't know why they don't give it to Timo or Mount even. I would give it to Timo because he needs a goal. But I guess it's a pressure situation, and maybe they've changed up the order of the penalties. So now or the penalty takers. So Jorginho is number one, and if he is, then yeah, so be it. But yeah, we all want to see Timo score. He's not scored in a while in the Premier League. So yeah, I think he's not scored since the Sheffield game in November. So yeah, it's been a while. It's been like 14 games now for 15 games. So, but he's got 5 assists in that time. To be fair,
Yeah, I think the only thing that I was going to mention when you said something about the Timo Werner taking penalties, I think with penalties it's a one-off case. If it goes in, you come into the next game confident knowing you've scored a goal. But if it doesn't go out, you kind of overthink and you kind of say, "Oh, I can't even score a penalty, let alone a goal from free play, goal from a pass or a free play." So yeah, I would, as you said, I would like to see Werner take a penalty. I think the last time he took one was Krasnodar, um,
yeah,
away against Krasnodar. Yeah, so yeah, and I think Tuchel kind of spoke about this in his press conference. He said they had an internal competition. Jorginho and Mount came out on top, and then Jorginho was just handed it because of his experience or because he's been taking it for a while.
mm.
Um, and I think if Jorginho misses a few, then I think they'll question his penalty taking ability, and Werner or Mount will probably step up. Um, but I always feel like Mount's being included in everything: penalty, Mount, corner, Mount.
Mm.
He's just such a versatile player.
Yeah. He's great at set pieces at the end of the day. But
Yeah,
the last time he took one was when he missed in the League Cup shootout. So it's like I understand why he went with Jorginho instead.
yeah. Um, Anything else about the game? There wasn't
Um,
much in it except these glimpse of.
A couple of things. Oh, so well, the Rudiger own goal,
Oh yeah, oh goal.
the elephant in the room here. What a comical own
Okay,
goal that
let
was.
me start off by saying, okay, I am usually harsh on players, and I've been very harsh on, let's say, Kepa, when I've had to be. But honestly, I went on Twitter yesterday, and I kind of tweeted this out, and I said, look, Rudiger played well in my opinion. He had a few great blocks. He put his body on the line when needed to. And yes, that was a mistake, but honestly, he's under Tuchel. He's been playing well. I wouldn't say he's had a bad performance, but yesterday was a bit on the bad side. Yes, that own goal may have broken clean sheet or clean sheet record. Um, may have put us in a dangerous area, and we might have sat here today saying, "Oh, it's a 1-1 draw because a Chelsea player scored an own goal." But he did do his job as a defender, and he played really well. I think, other than that incident, in my opinion.
Yeah, in the second half. So after he made the mistake, he made a lot of good blocks. Like I'm pretty sure he must have blocked like 3 or 4, even 5 maybe Sheffield United shots that were going on target. So kudos to him for making up for his mistake. But at the same time, he made the game way more difficult and on edge because of the only 1 goal lead. So he made up for it. So and we won the game in the end. So it's not much to be. You can't really be overcritical. Don't want to be too critical of Rudiger. But other than that as well, Christensen, considering He's
Yeah,
not
Thiago
been,
Silva's boots.
yeah, filling Thiago Silva's boots. Actually did pretty well considering it was a very like normally Christensen when he comes up against physical teams, he just does not have a good game. He gets bullied, he gets taken out of position, gets hurt, and just harms the team by not being in position. But actually, I thought he did pretty well. Even he wasn't afraid of a physical battle. He won many of his duels and physical battles with Sheffield players. He never got bullied, so he did pretty well. I thought he was really solid, and good on him for coming in and showing what he was worth. Because Thiago Silva is not an easy shoe to fill. Thiago Silva's shoes. Oh, sorry, there's a tongue twister. Thiago Silva's shoes aren't a very easy pair of shoes to fill. So it was good to see him come in and actually play pretty well against a team that you'd normally expect him to do pretty poorly against. So
Yeah,
and also he had played pretty poorly in the I think he started in the 3-0 loss in June. So to kind of come to the same place and actually play really well was a really good thing from him.
I think with the defense, I'm seeing a lot of positive signs, and Thiago Silva being a core part of it. When he gets injured, we all kind of just get scared because we know the backups that we've got aren't that great. But yesterday, I think he proved all of us wrong. We were expecting, at least I was expecting a few more errors than we got last night. Um, but I think the defenders did a great job, and they've been doing a great job in the
Yeah,
last 3 games, I would say,
yeah,
and we accept that error, of course, but it sometimes happens in football.
yeah,
I guess it is what it is.
yeah,
But going back to Christensen, I think he was written off, and I think there's still a chance for him at Chelsea if he keeps performing like this, because I feel like Thiago Silva is going to get injured more often, and because of the I don't want him to get injured more often. I just mean to say is because the frequency of games that we've got now. I think Thursday we play, and then we play again on Saturday or Sunday, so on and so forth. We've almost got a game every 3 to 4 days, so we can't expect Silva to play every game. And then we've got this very tricky period in February when we've got Leeds, Man United, Everton, Liverpool, Atletico twice. So and those are games where Thiago needs to be there, because not just his defending skills, in my opinion, but his leadership skills. Because sometimes you can really hear him shout and make sure the defenders are doing their job. Um, so that's something that you, as a Chelsea team, you kind of just miss. And Christensen hasn't been, honestly, hasn't been the best of defenders in big games. So I'd like to see him be included in the matchday squads and have appearances. And one player that's kind of been sidelined since Tuchel's come in, Kurt Zuma.
yeah. It's
I think he's
really
got an
weird.
injury now, but
I mean,
is it that significant?
I think it's just Kazuma. He would be playing on the left of the three. He is not good enough on the ball to play in the middle of the three, and Aspie's like Aspie, so he's not going to get dropped. So he's pretty much competing with Rudiger, and I think it's quite clear that Tuchel really likes Rudiger, so I understand why he's not played that much. Same with Ziyech, to be fair. There's just some players who just haven't had the game time at the moment. So I'm expecting Zuma to play against Barnsley, Ziyech to play against Barnsley, Havertz to play against Barnsley, Kepa, and basically everyone that hasn't really had a chance yet to go and play against Barnsley. Um, but yeah, other than that, it was the defense we kept even when the Sheffield United Ronaldo came on, David McGoldrick. He still we still kept him quiet. He didn't score. Three of his 7 Premier League goals have come against Chelsea, and he did not score against Chelsea. So
I think there was a moment at the end of the game where
yes, 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 yes.
when there was a corner.
Do you remember the
Sorry, no.
Do you remember the bicycle? Someone there was someone on the Sheffield team. I think it might have been McBurney or Sharp. I think it was Billy. I think it was Sharp. They tried a bicycle kick in like the
Yeah,
last minute of the game, and he got it on target as well. So that was pretty impressive.
that, and then there was this moment where everyone was lining up for the corner. It was almost the last minutes of the game, and the commentator goes, "Oh, this is McGoldrick's time to score," um, and he's had 3 goals against Chelsea, 2 against Arsenal, 5 out of 7 or something like that, 5 out of 10
Oh wow.
of his last goals against London teams. So he'll be
Yeah.
favourite to hit it over here. And I
Yeah.
kind of just sat there like, if it
Mm,
happens, I want to have.
yeah. But luckily, it did not. It wasn't his day, and they had some chance. Like they definitely, it was very tense from the last like 10 minutes of the game. But yeah, one thing I wanted to talk about as well was Chilwell, and just in general. I know we talk about the penalty, but just in general, he's not looking very good at the moment, and Alonso's coming back into the frame,
Yeah,
but and it's like, do we see Alonso staying at Chelsea or not? Is a weird
I
question.
think we do. I think, okay, so I'm going to probably, I've said this before, but um, I think I mentioned this in the tweet yesterday that I did, and I said, look, Alonso and Chilwell are 2 different players. Um, if we revert back to going with a back four, if we need to go back to a back four, there is no way I'm letting Alonso step on that pitch because I know the type of performances he puts in as left back. But if it's a left wing back position, and it would be wrong to judge Chilwell because he's never really had the experience playing left wing back. And yesterday was the only first game he started as a left wing back. Maybe give him a few games before finalizing who's better, and who needs to stay and who needs to go. And I think Alonso right now fits the system well because he knows how to play as a left wing back and he does a better job. And I think the same goes for Chilwell. Chilwell doesn't start if it's a left wing back. He does start if it's a left back. And honestly, both those players are key to Chelsea this season and probably in the future as well. So I think Emerson was in the equation when Lampard started using him because and his performances were good as well. But I think Alonso really has impressed me under Tuchel, in my opinion.
Yeah, he has. It's just whether when we come up against more top teams like City, if we're playing against, for example, City, and we go with the back five, I don't even know if I want to see Alonso step play. He's just defensively, even in the back five, he's not great. It's just attacking wise, he is. But then again, Chilwell at the moment's been in poor form, so it's just, yeah. I hope we go back to a back four sooner rather than later, because yeah, I mean we got a glimpse of Kan. I thought when as well Kante, he came on and looked pretty good. I thought definitely. I mean in the past game against Spurs he came on, wasn't amazing, but came on, did all right. Looked like played some smart passes, and Hudson Odoi also came on and did decent as well. We looked threatening at least, but still, I mean, I much prefer him on the wing if sorry at wing back, but it's a shame he can't play left wing back because I'd rather play Cho there. But yeah, James still has to play on right wing back instead of him.
But I think the first 2 games where Callum Hudson-Odoi kind of played as a right wing back, he played really well,
Yeah,
and I think he got 2 man of the matches award for that as well. And I think this kind of, if we can develop him into a right wing back and bring in Ziyech, it's almost impossible for teams to challenge Chelsea on that right hand side. You know, you've got someone like Ziyech who can switch the play, and you've got Callum who can just use the burst of pace that he has and just run past defenders.
yeah,
Um, and I think, yeah, um, but I mean, this Chelsea team looks really strong, and I don't want to get too ahead of myself here and just say we can be title winners, but top four looks on, in my opinion. Top four, can we
yeah,
do it?
yeah. We can. I mean, I wrote it off many times before, but it's just like everyone around us has really hard games over the next month, much harder than we do. I know we have a couple of trickier fixtures when we come to the end of the month as well, but Liverpool are going through a really tough time at the moment, and we're just the moment you put a run of games together where you win, you're just gonna go up. You're gonna climb the table so fast, and that's what we've done, and that's all we can continue to do against hopefully Newcastle and Southampton. Win those two, and we'll be definitely up there in the top four places already. because Liverpool, Leicester, and United all have really tricky games coming up. So yeah, it's going to be it's going to be good a good time to really climb up the table. And I do think we will. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we're third or even second in a couple of games. I know you're going to clip that maybe, but I wouldn't be surprised considering that we have
Be
easy
careful.
we have easy games and everyone else has really tricky games around us. So I wouldn't be surprised if we overtake Liverpool or not. But I'm not saying it'll happen. But I wouldn't be shocked if we continue our climb because we have easy fixtures compared to others.
Yeah, I think we play Liverpool in 20 days, 10 days, something like that.
20 or something like that.
Yeah, so we could eventually just overtake them on the day we play them.
We'll play Liverpool on the 20th March, but much closer to that. End of February, we play Atletico away, and then Man United at home, and then Everton at home. So
So both, yeah.
we
So
can.
okay.
Everton are technically. I mean, if they win their games in hand, they'll be above us. If they don't, then they'll stay below. And
So
yeah,
both fixtures really tough, but eventually, if we can beat Spurs,
Spurs.
no, I mean, if we the way we beat Spurs,
Oh yeah,
the way we played against Spurs, if we
yeah,
play the same way, I feel like we can beat Everton and Man United.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
Everton for sure. Man United will take a little bit more effort. They've been in good form. They've kind of dipped out of form at the moment, but I feel like they'll pick up. Um, Again, leading up to that game, I mean, they've got quite easy fixtures with Newcastle, West Brom, and West Ham, I would say.
Yeah,
But again, it's Man United. You can they can go 9-0 up and then go 3-3 against
yeah,
Everton last
yeah.
minute. So anything can
Because
happen in this Premier League.
they play us and then they play Man City at the end of the month. So it's like if we manage to beat Man United and then Man United manage to beat City, we'd be and Man City have. I mean, yes, Man City look pretty invincible at the moment, but Man City do have an extremely tough fixture list where they play pretty much everyone in the top six in the next 5 games. They play the next 5 games. They play. So they just played Liverpool. They play Tottenham next week. Then 3 days later, Everton. Then 3 days later, Arsenal. Then 3 days later, West Ham. Then 3 days later, Man United. So they have really. I mean, maybe Arsenal, maybe not. But Arsenal always have.
I wouldn't write it off, Alex.
Yeah, Arsenal actually have. They play well against like. I mean, they've beaten Liverpool this season? I think they beat Liverpool this season, or it's just they. I wouldn't put it past them to at least do something. It's just very Arsenal of them to win games that you really don't expect them to win. So yeah, my hopes aren't down for even. There should be no expectation. It's just going to be really. We can't tell what's going to happen. There's too much madness that could possibly happen.
Yeah, I just hope we can actually continue this run of form. And I keep telling myself after every win or every Chelsea game that don't think about the next 10 games, because the more I think about it, the more I'm like, oh, after this game we're on a 10 game win streak. If we continue like this, champions easy. This is done.
Uh-huh.
And then we're gonna end up losing 2 games, and I'm gonna start saying Tuchel out.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think I'm just trying to take it game by game now. Just win the next game, and we're good. No need for. I'm not at this point. I'll say I'm not that concerned about us not being able to keep clean sheets. I mean, we're already doing better than what we did last season, so that's a pretty good improvement. We said we want to catch up to the league leaders. We're 1 point behind them, so that's pretty good as well. The champions, sorry, last season, so we're only 1 point behind them. So yeah, honestly, we're playing really well. So yeah, give us the trophy and we'll go home. No, that was such a forced laugh.
It's true though. You never know the season. Man City they look so good, but who knows? Literally, who knows? This table is so fluid. Anything can happen. United were like where we were 3 weeks ago, a couple of months ago. Everyone calling Ole out, and now they're second, 5 points off City. So anything can happen, and just a game at a time.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you. Okay, so I think that covers up the review for Sheffield and Chelsea, sitting fifth place and only 1 point behind top four Chelsea, unbeaten in 4 games. Thomas Tuchel, he has got, if I can do the maths correctly, 10 points out of the 12 that he has been part of. And now we face Barnsley next. Barnsley this Thursday, and I think this episode goes out tomorrow, so in 2 days' time. Should we play with the academy team against Barnsley because we beat them last time 6-0?
Yeah,
I
maybe.
mean, Kepa
No,
needs to start though.
Kepa at striker. No, but no, we need to not the. It's not a time for academy players. It's a time for um, getting confidence and getting minutes for the players who haven't played a lot in the past 4 games. So Ziyech, Havertz, Chilwell, I would say Chilwell definitely needs to play to kind of get his confidence up. Who else? Tammy absolutely has to play. Tammy hasn't played at all under Tuchel yet, I don't think, or maybe he's come on. He's come on for 1 or 2 sub appearances. I can't remember, but he's not played much, so he needs to. Zuma, of course, and Kepa. So, and then maybe a couple of the academy guys. Maybe like Livramento, he plays right wing back. So give Reese a rest and play Livramento maybe. But I wouldn't rule it out. Wouldn't rule out a couple of academy guys being on the bench at least. But it's more about giving some confidence and a chance for Havertz and a couple of others to show that they deserve to be starting.
Yeah, I think I might go the other route. I might say there might not be any academy players on there. I don't think Tuchel must have had the time to see the academy team. Actually, never mind. I've just kind of realized
He has.
as soon as I've said that, I've kind of
Yeah.
just I just remembered his interview where he said he looked over the balcony and he watched one of the games. Um, and yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So
But no, I think with the quality of players that we've already got in the first team, I think we're probably going to use most of those again, as you mentioned. I'm probably echoing what you said. Ziyech, Kai Havertz, Pulisic if he's back. Maybe have Callum Hudson-Odoi back at right wing back. Probably Emerson or Alonso, depending on who he favors, and something like that. Just using the players that don't play so often. So I think you want to dive in straight into team selection.
pretty much, yeah. I think there's not much else other than Barnsley. I guess they. I mean, yeah. Well, I can't believe we actually have them in the cup in both cups. How unlucky must they feel? But that going into the game, their form is pretty shocking. Really, they haven't won any of the past 5 in the league. They, yeah, their form is not good. They haven't won a game, I don't think, in 2021 yet, and yeah, fully, yeah, a loss again this game is not even it's not even worth thinking about. I think I'll be well surprised if this is a challenge, but yeah, Barnsley aren't in a good moment, so we should be absolutely dominating and winning this game very, very comfortably. Like hopefully around the 6-0 scoreline we saw before.
Yep. And to make it 6-0, someone's got to go and goal for Chelsea. Kepa or Mendy.
What do you mean? We can get a clean sheet without a keeper. No, but we'll go. I'll go Kepa, of course. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I'm not going to put Rudiger back in there.
No, he doesn't need to. We can't have Rudiger and he'll pass it into his own net again.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Rudiger has to. Yeah, unless we play one of the academy players at centre back. We'll go. Tough.
So Kepa in goal.
Yeah.
I'd go with Aspie. I want to give Aspie a bit of a rest because I know it's going to be tough for him to continue playing every game. But then I don't see any other options. Silva, I might give him a rest as well.
Thiago Silva's out, confirmed for the
Oh,
game.
okay.
Well, I would say that perhaps it could be a good game to test out Reece James at right centre back. So I would do, but because he's not played a lot, I don't think. I don't. I think he had. I mean, yes, he started against Sheffield, but I think he's come off the bench a few times, so perhaps might be a good one to put Reece James at right centre back or one of the academy guys because Aspie's played a lot. Because remember, Cho's been playing at right wing back instead of James, so James won't be that tired. So perhaps play James at right centre back.
Yep, I think yeah. So we're going with Christensen, Reece James, and Rudiger.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, actually, no, Zuma, Reece James, Christensen, and Zuma.
Oh yeah, Zuma. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Or I feel like we might just see Rudiger, Zuma, and I'm just saying we might just see Rudiger, Christensen, and
yeah,
Zuma start because realistically Rudiger
yeah.
hasn't had much play time, so this is kind of his time to just go and play for Chelsea for
Mm,
5 or 6 straight games.
mm,
Um, and I think he might start over Reece James.
yeah,
But again, it's Barnsley, so we might. The thing is with Tuchel, because we haven't seen him play in these type of games, he's come in under pressure in the Premier League, so he's had to put in the best squad out there. But with FA Cup games, he can kind of relax and just maybe even try out a different formation or maybe even try out a different tactic, knowing that he's already got Silva who's out, and then Aspie who needs rest, and Rizuma who's returning from an injury, with Rudiger who's played 4 games in a row. So he might even go with a four at the back and just say, okay, let me just look at the fitness wise and try and conserve some energy for the next games. But yeah, I think it's either going to be Reece James or Zuma coming in
yeah,
for Aspie.
yeah. Absolutely.
Wingbacks,
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with Emerson and I think Callum Hudson-Odoi.
yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if it's that. Yeah, I would go with that. Give Reese the rest, and Hudson-Odoi only came on as a sub against Sheffield, so yeah, I would go Hudson-Odoi and Emerson. But if not, maybe one of the youth academy players at right wing back, Livramento, I think. But that depends if academy guys are actually going to get a chance.
I think it was mentioned that the academy has a different bubble than the Chelsea first team, so I haven't really seen any pictures of academy players training with Chelsea players, but we might see that on Tuesday. So when you guys are seeing the episode, we might see some pictures out there, so we might have an idea of better idea of who might start. Um, Midfield, I'll probably give Jovicic a bit of a rest and have Kante and Kai Havertz, maybe Kante and maybe have Jorginho play, or actually Billy Gilmore and Kante.
Yeah, agreed. Billy Gilmore and Kante both haven't had any time or much time. Kante got the sub Brent's last game, but yeah, he needs to get match. He needs to get the chance in this game. Give Jorginho and Kovacic a rest. They've started the past 4 games, so yeah, they need to get rested. So yeah, play Kante and Gilmore together.
Yeah, and then for Kai Havertz to be in front of them, um, with Tammy and Werner up top.
They were big. I'd like Werner to start. Needs to get a goal from somewhere, but no, I would go Havertz and then Tammy and no, so Ziyech playing 10 and then Tammy and Havertz playing up top. I think because Tuchel's been playing a 3-5-2 in most of the games, so or 3-4-1-2 in most of the games, so or it's 3-4-3. But yeah, I would go Havertz and Abraham up top with Ziyech as number 10.
Okay. Yeah, I think that could work as well.
Yeah, we need Ziyech. Ziyech
Yeah,
needs to play. I don't know why he's not featured or he's not come on in any of the games, but if it's a confidence thing
This
and not
is, I
playing
think,
well.
this is where it kind of gets tough for him. I think it's easy for him to pick the back four and all of that, but um, it's where he could give Werner a chance because it's an easy game. He might end up scoring and getting back his confidence, or he could give Ziyech some game time and Kai Havertz some game time, who haven't had much um, under Tuchel. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see whoever he goes for up top. I think a lot of fans will be happy. A lot of fans will be upset about that.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it would be good to get him for him to get some goals cleared against Barnsley. Plus, chemistry with Havertz as well. That would probably help. So yeah, I wouldn't mind if Timo plays, but Tammy Abraham has barely featured under Tuchel, so he more than Werner needs the chance, I think.
Yeah. One thing I want to kind of mention, and it's been going around a lot. Premier League referees, a lot of drama being created, especially after Mike Dean gave a red card this weekend, and he's been receiving a lot of death threats and a lot of abuse from fans. Anything you've got to say on that, Alex?
Um, at the end of the day,
And I'm not trying to put you on the
yeah,
podium here. I'm
it's
just
tricky
just
because
trying to.
the application of VAR for some reason doesn't work very well in England, whereas it does pretty much everywhere else. So you can't say it's the technology's fault. I think these guys just are making really like VAR is making them look worse essentially, and they are making really bizarre decisions. And there must be some reason, there must be some like way or method that they're using for VAR that's different to everyone else's. Because and perhaps it's like them not wanting to disrupt the flow of the game. There's some like additional like reasoning or the way I think the FA stipulates the use of VAR slightly differently to I can't remember exactly how it works, but essentially they don't want long stoppages and they do and they don't want to stop the game for a while to make sure they get the right choice. And yeah, referees are just making those wrong decisions. The abuse they get is completely unwarranted, and it's really bad that the referees are getting abused for it. But also, the referees are not facing any consequences for making poor decisions week in, week out. And it's been getting worse and worse for seasons now, seasons and seasons. Even before VAR came in, we thought it would improve the standard of refereeing, but it really hasn't. They're just making more mistakes. They're showing that they're not very, they're just a little inept at using this technology. So either they need to get better at using the technology or they need to get rid of it. So because there's just some like the decision with Susek was unbelievable. Yeah,
Yeah, I think um, the only thing I would say in here, and you've kind of went over it, but having watched cricket for almost all of my life, I've never seen the on-field umpire in cricket go up to the third referee or the fourth official and ask him for go and watch the screen with replays and everything. And I think one thing we should try implementing with VAR is the on-field referee doesn't have to walk up to the monitor. The third official or the fourth official, would it be? Yeah, the fourth official should make the decision on behalf of the referee. I think they're qualified enough to make their own decision. And when making the decision, instead of using a computerized formula or a computerized way of finding out who was wrong, there should be a sense of um, human intervention where they can, like that situation with Susek. I mean, yes, a computer will say that's a red card because they saw an arm hit, but human intervention will tell you that arm was accidental. And I think this is where referees are kind of getting confused and aren't able to keep up with this. But I think, in my opinion, it's fully wrong to abuse any referee, and it's incredibly sad to see referees getting under this And the referees basically just getting hate for no reason. And I think Premier League without the VAR would have been the same as well, because now that we have VAR, we're not appreciating it. But since we didn't have VAR, you always heard fans say, "Oh, we want VAR, we want this, we want
Yeah.
that, we want this," and
I
suddenly you just, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
sorry, I meant to agree with the whole. I don't know why they're to be honest, like everywhere that not just in England, they insist on making sure the on pitch referee, has the final decision. Why? Why don't they care more about getting the decision right as opposed to who makes it? It's just it makes it's just a pride or an arrogance thing. I don't know what it is really, but it makes no sense to me why they don't care the most about actually getting the decision right, as opposed to making sure the referee has the final say, or making it look like the referee has the final say, because there's been some reports of like the referee is just going over to the boards to make it look like referee going to the monitor to make it look like that he's making a decision. Why does he have to do that? Why can't they just have they do it for offsides? They don't have the main referee looking at the lines to judge whether someone's nose is offsides. They just do it automatically. So why can't they make other decisions automatically instead of telling the referee about it? So yeah, it's really stupid.
Yeah, and I think yeah, you're right on that one. Um, the fourth official, fifth official, third official linesman, everyone's as capable because they all go through the same training, they all go through the same program as the on-field referee, and I think it should be perfectly fine for someone who's sitting in a van with 10 screens to make a judgment. And I think the referees should trust each other on this. We don't have to second judge it. And yeah, as you said, it's more important to get the decision right, and it doesn't matter who does it as long as it's right. Um, you know, so yeah, hopefully this fixes up. There's hopefully an improvement in this. Um, Anything else to talk about? I think that covers up the whole podcast. Thank you. I think yeah. That's all for the podcast, Alex. Anything you want to add on?
No, I think that's it pretty much. Amart, we miss you if you've got to the end. We want you back. But yeah, that's all. I don't think we have anything else to say. It was a pretty dire game to watch, if I'm honest. It wasn't the most pretty football in the world. It was stressful because you never know if Sheffield are threatening, but we managed to get through it. And considering we lost there 3-0 last year, it's a good improvement to see. But yeah, it was just a really tough game, dire game, not much action really, and us not being that clinical. So yeah, looking forward to the next, and looking forward to especially the end of this month is where things really start to hot up, and we have some huge games coming along the corner. And
Yeah,
it's quite. I saw some reports that many Atletico players have caught COVID recently, so they'll have to isolate for quite some time and recover. So
I think there's also rumors. Sorry for the interruption, but I think there's also rumors about the game being played at a neutral venue because
yeah,
travel to England is banned at the moment unless they
I,
quarantine for the required 14 days, which Atletico
mm,
can't do unless they miss their league fixture.
yeah.
Um, I
I think
think
it's a
I'm not exactly sure what the sorry again, but I'm not exactly sure what the actual location they want to relocate it to is. But how much of an advantage would that be for Chelsea, honestly?
Yeah, it would be huge because Atletico are unbeaten at the moment at home this season. I think it might be some East European country, like maybe Hungary. I think where it might be played, and but I think the whole travel thing is it applies to Germany, but not to Spain yet. So it's just like a worst case, I think. But um, but yeah, it's a huge thing, and I think apparently it'll still be played over two legs, but it might be at a neutral venue. So is still a big advantage because Atletico have huge home advantage, and being a neutral stadium, we tend to do well in neutral stadiums. So we honestly we
Any
do.
advantage we can get.
Any advantage we can get, yeah, we always do well in neutral stadiums. A lot of the time we do well. So yeah, it's good for us. but we're going to need more of a biased or unbiased stadium to win against Atletico because they're just so strong at the moment. But we're in good form, so who knows? But that's one for another pod.
I think I'm never going to write off an underdog Chelsea team in the Champions League. No one expected us to do it in 2012. No one expects us to do it now. Bayern were favourites then. Bayern are favourites now. So a lot of things in here.
We beat them. We beat them in the group stage with a worse team, with Batshuayi and Bakayoko doing well. So I don't. We have a much stronger team now. So let's see why we can't cause damage. But I recognise it's a new Atletico team as well. But yeah, we
just need a few players to click on the day and just, it's. I think with this kind of game, it's one of those games where you go out there one leg and you just play your heart out, win the game. The next game, you just sit back, defend with 9 men because you've got to go through the next round, and you can sit there for 90 minutes and defend. And if you go through, no one's going to talk about those 90 minutes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because a lot of teams tend to be ashamed of trying to defend their way, but with Chelsea, if we can, and I think I'm probably going to get hate for saying this, but if we can get 2-0, 3-0 lead in one of the legs, I hope we're playing with 9 defenders and Rudiger sitting out.
Rudiger at goalkeeper.
we thought we couldn't do worse than Kepa.
That own goal was such. You just don't see it at this level of football, and it's crazy to see it think that actually happened.
Yeah, I think that's all for the podcast. Thank you guys for watching. I will end tonight's podcast, and I will mention this. Thank you for the support on the last few podcasts. I think we were almost about to hit 500 on the podcast that we published on the 3rd of Feb, which was about Tottenham. And we're about to hit 100 views on the podcast about Sheffield United, the preview. So thank you for all the support. We've hit 107 subscribers, I think, something like that. Crazy number on our main channel. Our second channel has been blowing up as well, 76 on there. So thank you guys for all the support on everywhere. And Instagram. Whoa, I just got, okay, so don't know, Alex, if you know this, but today I've literally had to close my notifications on Instagram because we got, I think, 35 new followers out of somewhere today.
Yeah, we're on like we're on
470 followers at the moment. So
yeah.
Thank you guys for all the support. It honestly means a lot to see you guys like our content, share our content, and all that. So keep that going, and we'll keep the content coming in. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.